Hello everybody, my name is David, but you can call me Rev, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Last time, we completed our third dungeon of the game, Spati, and the final days is already starting. People are transforming into the monsters, and I think I found out the big key and why they're transforming into the monsters, but I have to wait and see if my theory holds true.
As I feared.
What is it?
The beast was there, and now it is no more. Yes?
Indeed. We saw it plain. But you didn't, did you?
I saw nothing. Not the blasphemy that perished here, nor the other men turned beasts. And because of this, I now see all too well. There is no ether. Where the creatures should be, I saw naught but emptiness.
What? Wait,
Emptiness? But that would mean...
that they were
Recall
completely
the
drained?
words of the Watcher. 'Twas a stagnancy of ether, a cessation of flow, leading to decay and absence, that led the ancients to conclude their star was dying. This is the same phenomenon. The instant these people are seized by the transformation, their ether begins to rot and crumble away like dried mud. Until, from their corporeal forms to their very souls, naught remains.
But the beast spoke with its dying breath. Surely at least a sliver of the man it was endured.
Mayhaps so. But even if the process was incomplete, it was little more than a faint residue.
That's scary.
Good. You're saying they cannot be saved.
Because there's no ether to save.
Not by any means known to me. Or by any means at all, like as not. For there is naught left to save.
So everyone we just killed is just completely gone.
They return not even to the ethereal sea.
The beasts rage on, their hunger insatiable. Even deprived of their master, they perpetuate his legacy of hate. Once proud sons and daughters of Thavnir, all of them, and now I spill their blood.
Vitra, my friends, I am heartened to see you safe. You put your secret at risk.
I don't think that matters right now.
Those closest to me already know the truth. A truth I must now share with one and all. Vitra, calamity has come to Radzatan. Our fair nation is rent by screams of pain and despair.
You gotta be everywhere. Holy crap.
More than ever, we require a strong leader to shepherd us through the storm. Reveal your true self to our people, Vitra, and guide us to salvation.
What madness is this, I-One? Thou dost forget.
It is literally the end of the world, sir.
Were we to reveal our duplicity, it would do naught but foster confusion and chaos.
More confusion and chaos than now?
Nay, I shall remain the Satrap's loyal ally and do battle with the beasts. Easing hearts and leading the people to safety is thy task, and thine alone.
Stand up to him.
I ask that you remain at Ahewan's side, and render unto him what aid you may. I know not what lies ahead, but without you, Radzetan will not survive.
And I mean, honest, I'm not sure they'll survive even with us. We can do what we can to help, right?
Take me with you. I am as at home fighting in the air as I am on land. Take me with you.
Were my words unclear? I require no assistance. Thy place is at Ahewan's side.
Estinian, here.
Link Pearl?
The last thing you ever wanted. A link pearl. We'd gain much from knowing your elevated perspective. And it'll keep you from getting lonely. Which I know you love.
Totally.
You heard the man. Seems I'm coming with you after all.
To say very well. Let us be on our way.
I pray thy grip is iron. Be it on thy head if thou dost chance to fall.
You're talking about the guy who rides dragons for a living.
Fair enough. Now, shall we?
I remember in the cinematic when he did Stardiver.
I fear it is as Vitra says. We will not survive this on our own. While I am loath to impose...
I do not care. Let us help you.
I would insist if you did not. 'Tis the very reason we have come.
Then once more I find myself...
But
without
we know
words
that
to thank
in
you properly.
Ishgard and in
Let us return to the capital and plan our next course
Wait.
of action.
So in Ishgard and in the Alamegan capital, it's slowly starting. Because those people must have started to transform. A radiant host has eliminated the immediate threat to the city, though it pains me to know those beasts were once my own people. There's no telling when or where the next transformation might occur. We must remain vigilant and steel ourselves for whatever is yet to come. All those colored dyes sound, honestly, quite frankly, disgusting. Alright, now we can enter that dungeon in the trust system. Forgive me, my friends, but I must turn to Megaduda for the time being. There I can better manage the crisis and dispatch my troops as the situation demands. In that case, we shall carry out an investigation of our own here in the city. Mayhap the residents can tell us more about the first of the transformations and the conditions under which it occurred. If you can ascertain exactly what triggered these tragic events, it may give us some insight to a possible solution. Time is of the essence. Let's split into 3 groups so that we can cover more ground. Alize and I will see to Pasca's path, Thancred and Y'shtola pray make for Dharma. I leave Artha to Graha and Yuv, and any information you can gather on the first blasphemy or the manifestation of the final days here in the city would be most helpful. When we have completed our respective inquiries, let's reconvene in front of Megaduta. That way, we can share what we've learned with the Satrap. Alright, we have our game plan. I also never synced up with the Ethernet charts here, so I'm going to be doing that at the same time while we're investigating. Unfortunately, we still can't use the main ether right here, so fast traveling in the city is not going to happen. This is going to suck, having to walk from point A to point B Point C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. That's the alphabet. Can't you see? Ah, I remember those red eyes. You're with those scions who commissioned the scales from us, yes? I welcome you back to the High Crucible, but what brings you here in these troubling times? We are assisting the satrap in investigating the crisis that plagues the city. Did you happen to catch sight of any of the creatures? I did. As I was going about my work, I was disturbed by crashing footsteps so powerful that the very ground shook. I rushed outside and I couldn't believe what I beheld. The night sky was burning. Suddenly I heard panic screams coming from the direction of the balls on the bazaar. In the next instant, a monstrous beast poked its head out from amidst the stalls. A handful of the Radiant rushed to the scene, only to be spent sprawling as the fiend and its minions propelled themselves skyward. So the blasphemy came from the vicinity of the markets. Thank you. Alright, let's go to the bazaar. We are going to be basically... We're on a wild goose chase for information. Forgive me, but my shop's closed until further notice. Needless to say, we've had more pressing concerns these days. We've come not in search of wares, but information concerning the enormous fiend that tore the bazaar. Did you perchance witness anything? Right now, my friend. I was here the whole time, so I only saw its little minions. Made a mess of the place they did. While that was all going on, the giant big one tore through the west side of the bazaar. Have better luck asking there. Is something the matter, traveler? If you're lost, perhaps I could be of assistance. Your offer is most appreciated. We're not lost, but we are in need of information. Might you know anything about the gargantuan beast that rampaged through the bazaar? Aye, I saw it all, but I wish I had not. I was going about my work when all of a sudden a piercing scream cut through the air. I turned around and there was a fiend, its massive body bursting through the entryway with the force of a tidal wave, and then it was gone as quickly as it came. Sisters, have mercy. What is happening to this world? What am I to do? Is nowhere safe? Fell down, friend. The danger has passed, at least for now. If it's not too painful to remember, could you tell us what you saw? First, I heard the screams. Then, a horde of ravaging beasts came charging towards us. One of them was huge, bigger than a Merid, throwing people like rag dolls, and it was eating them. I hid under the counter, saw others do the same. But then, the shrieking and wailing kept getting louder. More voices in throng, beasts and victims. I couldn't tell. I knew not what was happening. I still don't. That is enough, my good man. You're brave to share with us your tale. Many of your fellow merchants are safe. The High Crucible, too, has survived. Mostly unscathed. Pray stay close to your friends and your loved ones, and rest your body and mind while you're able. Alright. That was the most we could possibly find out. But no. Judging by their accounts, the transformation had already occurred by the time the beast reached the bazaar. It tore through the west side of the bazaar and headed towards the Aetherite Plaza. In other words, the blasphemy may have first appeared in this vicinity. That being the case, the person in that mayhem can surely tell us more. Going after the enormous beast, are you? Aye, I saw it. Clearly the very instant the poor bastard transformed. Damn the gods for putting me there. Did it start over there by the wind, though? A few men, merchants probably, talking and drinking. Conversation must have taken a turn for the worst. Next thing I know, their leader, I suppose he was, buries his head in his hands. The black mist was swirling him. Then his whole body bursts apart, and there stands a hideous, slavering beast. Massive and foul, all gaping maws and bulging eyes. His friends started shrieking, the black mist come again, until the change takes them too. Stuff of nightmares, I tell you. Nightmarish indeed. Incidentally, do you know perchance who those merchants were? No, I'm a decorator by trade. Not much cause to mingle with their sort. Saw Mithlil, the barmaid, chatting with them though. She might know something. Even after repairing all that damage, it took a while for her business to pick up again. You mean the blasphemy? That's what the Radiant's been calling it anyway. I saw it too. We all did. I was standing here at the counter as Meride poured me a drink when suddenly there came this dreadful sound, like a pained and angry groan. It was unlike anything I've ever heard. I turned around in shock, and from an ominous cloud of black mist rose the creature, enormous and ghastly to behold. As for what happened next, to recall, it sent shivers up my spine. But by some stroke of fortune, I was able to slip outside before the beast got its claws on me. But the sight that greeted me offered no solace. Blue sky above turned red as blood. Meride, myself, and the other survivors clung to each other for dear life until the Radiant host came to our aid. Wait, did I hear that correctly? The beast manifested before the sky began to burn. I'm certain of it. The windows here offer a clear view of the sky, and I saw nothing out of the ordinary until the beast appeared and began to rage. Wait, so the final days is about to start in other places. Oh no. That's not good. Oh, hello there. Welcome to Meride's Mahane. What can we get you? We have not come for libations, but rather for information. You're Mahil, right? We are investigating the so-called blasphemy on the satrap's behalf. We hear it was one of your customers, a merchant, that first underwent the transformation. Can you tell us about him? He was something of a regular here, especially of late. Kazel! No! What's his name? He ran his own consortium, dealing primarily with the exports of the Amnarian trade. No! It's through him we met Messiah. Yeah, the name rings a bell. Didn't you meet them both on your first trip to Davnir? Sorry. Whoops. Yes, that is the same Kazel, no doubt. But a successful man from what I gather. That said, it was clear that he had fallen on hard times of late. Those ghastly towers popping up everywhere could not have been good for business. Even now with the towers gone, the collapse of the Empire has led to all sorts of problems elsewhere. The market for luxuries is surely not what it once was. Trying times for the head of a trading consortium, indeed. Kazel was a compassionate man. Even as his own business suffered, he did what he could to provide for the artisans, fishermen, and many others who count on them to sell their wares. Indeed, that was the very topic of yesterday's meeting as far as I could hear. Yet as they discussed matters further, Kazel's tone grew grave and grim. It was then that... Forgive me. I would not have you recall the memory if it brings you pain. If I could, I would just ask one more thing. Did you notice anything unusual about Kazel in particular? Please. Anything at all. Sorry, nothing springs to mind. Perhaps someone else can help you. Kazel lived for his work, had no family that I know of. His employees and associates know him best, but they too are lost to us. Maybe Messiah is still okay. Perhaps his neighbors know something I don't. I can direct you to them if you believe it would help. What would you say? Alright, let's head to the neighbors then, shall we? Kazel made his home in Kama, a nearby residential area. From what I gather, Kazel lived there since childhood and was known throughout the neighborhood. Kama, the name is new to me. How do we get there? Okay, the directions. Okay. So to the neighbors we go. Hi, and this must be Kama. We've arrived at last. Let's begin questioning the residents without delay. No doubt someone here can tell us more about Kazel. Given recent events, I imagine many are taking shelter indoors. That I can probably agree on. But I feel like Messiah will probably be one of the people who knows him the best. Kazel, you say? Yeah, I've known him since he was a boy. If there was ever a man who was born to be a merchant, it was him. Always early to depart and late to return. He spent his days procuring the finest wares and seeking out willing customers. You could say it came to him as easily as breathing. Sadly, business was flagging as of late. No surprise really, with how dangerous travel has become. He scooped up in his house from dawn till dusk the other day. No doubt racking his brain for a way to turn his fortunes around. Then at night, I heard the door open. I looked out to see Kazel sitting on the bench with his head hung low. A man with the weight of the world on his shoulders. Notice anything else out of the ordinary? Nothing to speak of, other than the troubles with his consortium. He was the same old Kazel, cordial and honest like always. These questions you are asking, something happened to him? He wasn't caught up in that terrible incident at the bar, was he? I don't travel much these days, but my daughter told me not to venture outside. Stuck in here I am. I've heard little about these bazaars going on. Rest assured, the city is safe for now, but the situation may change without warning. I urge you, stay close to your daughter and be prepared to take refugees to the satrap order it. So we're not to... I can understand why we wouldn't tell them, but... there's only so much we can do, right? We can't be too frustrated with it. Could you come back another time? I just woke up and I'm not exactly in the mood for idle chit-chat. Well, that's one way to avoid the panic, I suppose. Pardon our intrusion, you may have not noticed, but a great danger has come to Thavnair. I encourage you to stay alert and prepare to flee the city should the situation turn dire. But before we leave you in peace, pray we allow us to ask a question. Did you know a local merchant named Kazel? If so, did you know it's anything unusual about him recently? Kazel, I know him. In fact, we just spoke the other day. Like many others, his business was doing poorly. Still, it seemed as though he managed to turn things around, thanks to a generous order from Ruveda Fibers. Why, he was practically dancing in the streets. I haven't spoken to him since, but I assume it all went well. Gina Baha might be able to tell you more, though. As I recall, he was the one who brokered the arrangement. All right. Oh my goodness. Wild goose chase. Oh my goodness, and you're all the way over there too? The things that we do for information, guys. The things that we do. And hurry, I say. No time to waste. Pardon me, but you are in charge of buying and selling here, yes? We have a few questions that we'd like to... I'm sorry, but I simply don't have time to chat. If you haven't noticed, we have our hands full at the moment. Let's carry all of our wares and equipments to safety before those accursed beasts return. In that case, I would be of assistance. Perhaps we can speak when the job's done. Very well. You can start by helping us move our equipment. Ask the others what to put where. And you can carry our fabrics. Go to that door and speak with Kamala. She'll tell you the rest. Remember, these textiles are our livelihood. Handle them with care. Done as I asked, have you? Kamala is satisfied with your work, then so am I. And that's a great favor. I too have delivered the instruments and apparatuses entrusted to me. You both have my thanks. With our wares safely stored away, we will not lose any more to those fiends. I take it that your establishment did not escape the attack unscathed. We did not. Thankfully, most of the workers had already left for the day, but those of us still here saw it all. We looked to the burning skies in confusion, and then, before we could even make sense of it, a hideous creature burst through the door shrieking. We ran for our lives, but one of my colleagues was not so fortunate. He cried out, a scream of such agony and terror, and in the next instant, he too sported its fearsome claws. The sight of it caused another fellow to panic, and then he too transformed. I'm sorry. There's something you wanted to ask? Indeed. You knew the merchant Kazel, did you not? I believe he had some dealings with your establishment? Kazel, I know him well. We arranged for his consortium to deliver a large shipment of fabrics, but in the end we received a better offer and had to turn him down. I understand his business is struggling, but so is ours. Another of our most reliable trading partners agreed to transport the goods for a much smaller commission, and we have been fools to refuse. I felt terrible for withdrawing the offer, but you must understand. Simply had no choice. He tried to put on a brave face when I delivered the news, but his dejection and despair was plain as day. He said he'd discuss it with his associates, but I could tell he'd given up all hope. Dejection and despair. You remember what we saw on Vanaspati, yes? Soldiers and jungle dwellers pushed to the very brink of turning into the beasts one after the next. It was seen the same phenomenon occurred here. The poor craftsmen attacked by fiends, as well as those witnesses to it, all undergoing the change. I suspect that everything began with Kazel. By all accounts, it was he who suffered the most profound and piercing despair. Wait, could it be that such intense emotions were what triggered his transformation? Much remains unclear, but I believe we are closer to drawing an answer. At any rate, we must discuss our findings with the others. Didn't he have told him to stay calm? Was that something we should have done? Anyway, though, we are running up on time here today. It is also 2:11 in the morning. I would love to record more. Trust me, I want to. But I need to stop for the sake of my poor little hard drive. So, thank you guys all so very much for watching today. If you guys have not already, all my socials and my Discord link is in the description below. And I hope to see you guys all in the next one. So, this is the Davnarian weave. Must say, there's a resemblance to the traditional fabrics of Corvos. Small wonder, really, given that it's across the water. Not that I'm much of an expert in Corvosi culture, of course. I've not had the occasion to visit my ancestral home since coming to Charlian, and like as not, I will never reside there again. That said, in recent days, I felt more acutely aware of my heritage, and grateful for it. Thanks to my forebears that I inherited the royal eye, and with it, the wisdom of the ancient Alog. And so, well, I simply hope that my countrymen are safe. And one day, when this calamity is not but a memory, I would like to see Corvus again, only once. During the final days of yore, the heavens burned and the stars fell. Creation magics run amok. That was my assumption when I saw Amarok. Perhaps the ancients believed the same, that the terror of a single powerful individual was the cause of their calamity. And yet, those self-same horrors now manifest themselves before our eyes. What could it be that sets the heavens aflame and turns ordinary men into beasts?